What's your message when you go around to these things?
I'm excited to get around and meet a lot of our fans. I know after the showing at the spring game, it showed me that everyone is excited and very enthusiastic about what's going on, and I'm ready to get out and share the message of what we're doing and what they can expect.
A lot of talk about the quarterbacks. What are your expectations? What do you want to see, particularly as fall practice rolls around? What do you want to see out of those guys?
Well, I think all of them can play football. We all know that. They all can throw the football around and do all the things the quarterback's supposed to do from that standpoint. But I want to see a guy that can lead our football team, you know, and get this football team to play for him. I think when we see a great football team that win championship, that's a big reason why that they have a quarterback that get their team to play for them. So I'm looking for guys that's going to do that.
Is that, can you develop that in a kid, or do they have to kind of have it in them?
Well, I think you got to help them. You got to help them to develop to what you want them to be, and then it's on the young man to take what you're doing to help them to help them get to the place where we all want them to be. So I think that's part of coaching and part of teaching, and part of teaching is developing them to be what we need them to be.
A lot of times a new coach comes into a place, it's a big rebuild. There's been some talk about how the cupboard is for you after having gone through the spring now. How do things look? How's the roster look?
The roster looks like the roster. You know, we got some good players. We got some young players, and we got some players we got to continue to develop. You know, but I think the big thing is we got to make sure we have a great team. You know, you can have all the talent in the world. If you don't have a great team, then it doesn't matter at all. So we have some guys, and we have some issues too, some depth issues at spots, but they'll get covered, and we'll make do with what we have.
Willie, you mentioned the spring game and how well that was attended. This is sold out. A lot of these tour stops are selling out. Are you a little surprised? I mean, the fans have really embraced you. Have you surprised the extent?
I don't just say they embraced me. I think they embraced all of us, you know. And am I surprised? No. I just always thought this is what it was like to be a Seminole, you know. So not surprised. Very encouraged and very excited with all the enthusiasm and the feedback that we get from everyone.
Do you think what do you attribute this to? Do you think it's just what Florida State fans are that into football? Or
yeah, I think that's a big part of it. They love Florida State, you know, and you know, change is the only constants we have, you know. So people are excited about the change, and we got to make sure we do our part to keep them excited.
Coach, I know it's probably not the best thing in the world to promise fans wins and losses, because
never promise anything.
They'll hold you to it.
Never
but
promise.
What can you tell fans about the product when you go out there, the product they're going to see on the field? Strip away anything about wins and losses, but what kind of team are they going to see under a Willie Taggart?
Well, you want to see an excited football team that's aggressive and in every aspect of the game, offense, defense, and special team. Exciting group to watch. A football team that's having fun, that's disciplined, and that like to get after you. Like I said, every aspect of the game. So that's what we used to see around here, and we like seeing around here at Seminole is guys that like to go out and have fun and beat people.
When you've been able to interact with fans, does there seem to be one big question they have, or one comment that you get from fans more often than others?
Yeah, I get glad to have you here, Coach. Get that quite a bit. That's probably the biggest one, you know. So I want to make sure come this fall they're saying the same thing. So we got to make sure we're working every single day to get our guys better.
It seems that one of the things that a lot of the Florida State fans are telling me is that they love the fact that you are an FSU fan, that you grew up with it, that it matters to you. Are you seeing some of that same kind of feedback?
Oh yeah, I mean, you hear it a lot, and I can hear it in some of the questions I get when I talk to the media. So that tells me a lot too. But it's true. I'm passionate about Florida State University, in which we all should be in, and make sure our players and coaches and everyone associated with us are passionate about Florida State football, and making sure that we live up to the expectations that was set here, and why we all decided to be here.
What will you do between now, you and your staff, between now and start of fall practice to try to get things, get the foundation?
We're going to recruit, which our coaches are out doing now, recruiting. I'm going to get out and meet some of our fan base, and we're going to get around our players as much as we can and make sure they continue to develop throughout the summer. I know our strength coaches do a great job with our guys throughout the summer, but it's going to be really important our guys take what they learned in spring ball and be able to go in the off season and be able to do those things over again. So by the time they come into training camp, things are so much smoother and we can add a lot more to the plate. But I think it's really important that our guys come together as a team, and this is, to me, is when the team is really going to come together, when they outwork and when the coaches can't be there, when it's voluntary and who want to get better and work on their craft. I told our guys, I see what kind of team we have this offseason.
Coach, you mentioned depth. Are there any plans to move guys around? Have you had any conversations with guys to move positions after watching them for 15 practices?
No, we didn't. We haven't had any position changes, conversation at all. We feel like we have guys on the team that can help us at every position. We got to get some guys back from injury, which will help. And I think with the recruiting class we got coming in, that'll help as well.
What terms of expectations? I mean, this is a team that was preseason ranked 3rd last year, but finished 7-6. I mean, on that spectrum, what side do you think this team is closer to?
Whatever our team want to be. It's going to be up to our guys. We can't let anybody else define us. We got to define ourselves by the way we play. So we know the expectation here at Florida State, and that's why everybody signed up to be here. So we're excited about the challenge and look forward to it.
You included, right?
Absolutely.
Coach, when you told us some of your impressions after the spring game of what you saw out there, but since then you had a chance to watch some film and evaluate a little bit more. Is there anything about the spring game that you were a little bit more pleasantly surprised about after the fact?
I wouldn't necessarily say pleasantly surprised. I just, to be honest with you, about the first time where I thought it was probably right what I said after scrimmage, and then watching the film on our guys. But it was good to see our guys execute without guys that they used to playing with every single day in practice. And I think that was really good to see out of the scrimmage on the spring game, was guys executing at not necessarily a high level, but good enough to where we can get some things done on both sides of the ball.
How many more pieces of garnet clothing do you own now than you did a few months ago?
Quite a bit, quite a bit, and that's not always good for me, especially when I go around town. There's no hiding or anything. No, but it's pretty good, huh?
I like the sport coat. Yeah,
Appreciate that.
Yeah, there, the spear, the whole thing. Got the whole look.
Gotta love it.
Well, you formed a pretty good relationship with Coach Bowden, especially as of late. He was the master at this, at interacting with the fans, the booster tours, that kind of thing. You taken anything away from him? You got any advice from him about kind of to be the head coach at Florida State?
No, Coach Bowden just told me to be me. You don't have to change it. Just be me, and you do fine. I don't plan on changing for anyone, and gonna continue to be me. And again, I follow Coach Bowden from afar, and I will say the thing that he believed and lived by when it comes to faith, football, and family. I believe in those things too, and look at our fan base, they're all family, so they're all part of this, and again, you gotta love it. Without you guys, this game wouldn't be as big as it is. I love you all too.
There are a couple of former Seminoles who play here in Jacksonville for the Jaguars. How much of a connection do you try to make with those guys, Jalen and Telvin and some of those?
Tell you what, it was great. I think I was on the job about 2 months, and Jalen stopped by to see me, and that was big time because he didn't have to, but he wanted to, and came in and introduced himself, and he's been back a couple of times, which has been great. And then over the spring weekend, for the spring game, Tevin came back, and it was a joy meeting him. I mean, he's talking about a guy with a lot of energy, excited and passionate about Florida State football. I would love to be his teammate. I mean, he got some juice. I tell you what, I can just only imagine what that locker room is like, or better yet, that defense is like with Jalen and Tevin on that same side.
Coach, you mentioned the way that the fans have kind of embraced you. I know you can't
Us.
talk in, there you go, us. You can't talk in particulars about recruits, but how's the recruiting gone in terms of what you're trying to sell and the way the players and the families have kind of bought in and responded?
Our recruiting is going really well. It's been great getting guys on campus, which has been huge. And I think once they get on campus and get around our coaches and our players, that really helps. So our coaches have done a good job of getting guys on campus, and we've got some good feedback from recruits about what's going on. And we got to keep doing it every single day and keep building momentum. And the more momentum we build, the more good things happen for us.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thanks,
Hey,
Coach.
Coach.
All right,
Appreciate it.